Trek is getting through Dulles Airport. Ledecky returns home with more Olympic medals than any other female swimmer ever. She says she's still waiting for her historic performance to set in.
No, it hasn't really sunk in. I got a week in Paris after my last race, and I got to enjoy a lot of the Olympic experience. So it's still been a whirlwind, and I'm excited to just relax now.
Ledecky has now won medals in London, Rio, Tokyo, and France, and she has no plans to slow down. She says she hopes to qualify for the 2028 Games in Los Angeles.
You know, aside from, Katie Ledecky being this amazing athlete, and I don't know her, but she just seems so nice.
I have met her before. She is the nicest person. Like, that is who she is. She's just a genuinely nice person.
Yeah.
And before, I think she was kind of quiet and did like all the lights around it. Now she's kind of come into herself. She accepts it. Yeah, and she's great.
Yeah, and I always like the time that they will be like, I'm going to take a second, take a picture with as many fans as I can, a selfie.
Yes.
I really like that about her.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's a winner. Coming up on Ksee Midday.
Hopefully we see her in LA.
Yeah.
How senators are teaming up to help make childcare more affordable for parents nationwide.
Welcome to the party. You guys, this is our show. You just never know who you're going to meet here. Let's do this.
Today at 4 on Ksee 24.
Summer won't last forever, but during Toyota's national sales event, you can make memories that will.
Come on.
There you go. Whoa.
Where's my mom? Just be in the moment.
Choose a low lease on the dynamic RAV4 and fuel-efficient RAV4 Hybrid. Or check out the all-new redesigned Land Cruiser. Toyota, let's go places.
This is Rodney, and this is Rodney's Good Feet story.
When you're blind, walking for me is probably the most important thing I do. But the more I walked, the more my feet hurt. And when I tried the arch supports on, I'm like, wow, I'm steadier.
Clinically proven. Significant pain relief in only 4 weeks.
I'm able to just walk with confidence. Feels great to be out in nature and walk again.
Take back the life you love and book your personalized arch support fitting today.
At Dunyan Law, you're not just a case, you're family, and we protect our family.
We stand up for your rights to get you every dollar you deserve.
If you've been hurt in a car crash, you only have one shot at justice. Call Dunyan Law now.
Don't let big insurance shortchange you. Get us on your side.
If you or a loved one has been seriously injured, call Dunyan Law. That's 877-DUNYAN, DUNNION.
Do you own a house that you need to get out of quickly or needs costly repairs? No worries. Hi, I'm Dean with Home Helpers Group, and we buy houses for cash in any condition all over the Central Valley. We buy everything from vacant, damaged, or rented properties to homes in good condition that you just need to sell fast. All with no stress, no repairs, no commissions, and no fees. Give us a call today for a free cash offer. Call 559-888-5100.
Home Helpers Group, getting you cash in days.
Kauai Health's Wound Center provides outpatient care for wounds that are slow to heal, helping you get back to normal as soon as possible. Let our doctors and skilled caregivers help heal your wounds safely and quickly. Learn more online.
Men and women both face factors that can impede normal hair growth and trigger hair loss. Well-Rooted Hair and Scalp Clinic has helped thousands of happy patients address hair loss and scalp disorders. Book your free consultation and get your hair loss under control. Scan now for details.
This is Ksee 24 News Midday.
Well, 2 senators now teaming up to try to tackle child care costs with new legislation. Well, the bipartisan pair is pushing to pass bills that would make changes to the existing tax law and start a new program to boost provider wages.
Washington correspondent Hannah Brand explains what impact the plan could have for families and for providers.
A new child care proposal coming out of Capitol Hill has advocates optimistic.
There's much more to be done, but we are very excited.
Cindy Lenhoff is the director of the National Child Care Association, and she's got a lot of praise for new legislation just introduced by Democrat Senator Tim Kaine and Republican Senator Katie Britt.
The parties working together to benefit working families, to benefit childcare providers and educators.
The duo introduced 2 childcare bills. The first would change existing tax law to bump up the child tax credit to $2,500 for families with 1 kid and $4,000 for families with 2 or more kids.
Help people deal with the high costs of childcare.
And it would boost an employer tax provision that allows businesses to write off costs for providing childcare to their workers.
To triple that to $500,000. That would be a very robust incentive that I think a lot of companies want to take advantage of.
The second bill would launch a new grant program for states, localities, and tribes to supplement the pay for child care providers.
An ample salary for child care workers is also really important to keep and then grow the pool of those willing to do the job.
In order for these bills to make any impact, they'd have to get enough support to pass through Congress.
This is an issue that we need to do better. We need to make working family friendly.
Republican Senator Shelley Moore Capito says she thinks federal help for child care is essential, and advocates hope to see more lawmakers get on board.
It improves things for many, many generations to come and has a great return on investment.
In Washington, I'm Hannah Brandt.
Well, Vince Vaughn finally getting a star. How the famous actor was honored at the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
We'll be right back
with details on why that happened.
After my accident, I wasn't sure if I could trust my insurance or my attorney.
If you've been injured in an auto accident and want a second opinion on your case, call BD&J.
Call BD&J today at 1-800-820-1111.
You need a new roof. Your home deserves the best. That means Semper Solaris. As a local veteran-owned company, we bring military values to every job. Honesty, integrity, and doing the job right the first time. We're not just installing roofs, we're building a legacy of award-winning craftsmanship, customer service, and dependability. As an Owens Corning Platinum Preferred Contractor, Semper Solaris is one of very few roofing installers in the nation to offer a 50-year warranty on the Owens Corning roofs we install. For most, it's the last roof you'll ever need. Call Semper Solaris today and get 0 interest and 0 payments for 18 months. American-made, 50-year warranty, thousands of 5-star reviews. Semper Solaris. Call Semper Solaris now and get your free roofing consultation today.
Do you know who to call if you're hurt in a car accident?
It's a no-brainer. You call the Law Brothers.
Everybody knows the Law Brothers are the #1 car accident lawyers.
Everybody knows. We've helped so many people over the years, we've probably even helped someone you know.
Big case or small, the Law Brothers handle them all.
And you don't pay a dime unless they win your case.
Everybody knows that.
We're the Law Brothers.
Call 1-800-222-2222.
This is it. 2 players with a chance to win $1.5 million. Paper, scissors, shoot! Yay!
Get ready to throw down, because we're taking it back to the playground with Richie's Rock, Paper, Scissors. 2 lucky winners face off every hour with a chance to win $1.5 million in cash. And if you don't, you still could leave $5,000 richer. Play to earn your chance to win at the Tachi Palace Casino Resort.
Are you sitting at home in pain, letting it affect your quality of life? Call Innovative Medical Center and let us help you prevent any unnecessary medications or surgeries with responsible pain management.
Since I got the treatment, I haven't experienced any more pain, something I would experience daily.
I'd say within a week, I felt so much better. My knee didn't hurt anymore. My shoulders didn't hurt anymore.
At Innovative Medical Center, we're changing lives. It's time to start living again pain-free. Call Innovative Medical Center today.
That stage is where dreams come true. Here we go.
Going for the gold, y'all.
AGT goes live.
3, 2.
Tonight on NBC and Peacock.
Hello.
Now that you've heard the rest, you can hear the best. We can be with the S and have this on your chest.
Snoop joins The Voice Monday, September 23rd on NBC and Peacock.
This is Ksee 24 News Midday.
Well, actor, producer, and screenwriter Vince Vaughn is the latest celebrity to receive a coveted star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Vaughn was honored yesterday with the 2,786th star in the category of motion pictures, along with the iconic Hollywood Boulevard. The Wedding Crashers star was joined by his family and friends at the Chamber of Commerce ceremony in LA this morning. Vaughn is a Chicago native, known for films like Swingers, Old School, Dodgeball, many more. Vaughn's star is located at 6201 Hollywood Boulevard if you want to see it. He paid a pretty penny for it, too.
Big congrats for him. He paid?
Yeah, 75 grand. You got to pay 75 grand to get your star.
We didn't name The Breakup. I like that movie with Jennifer.
Yeah, The Breakup.
That was one of my faves he's ever done. It was good. He was a tour bus guide in Chicago. I mean, he was kind of mean to her, in my opinion, during that breakup.
All right, still to come on Ksee Midday.
A scary experience for these kayakers at Half Moon Bay. How a close call with a shark. This ocean experience is one to remember.
Your health matters to you and to KC24. That's why we started Buddy Check 24 back in 1996. We're dedicated to helping raise breast cancer awareness and committed to sharing important health information in our community. Download the YourCentralValley.com app today, and every month we'll send alerts to remind you to call your buddy for life-saving self-exams. Together, you and Buddy Check 24 will continue to save lives.
Let's see if AAA can take us somewhere fun. Let's go somewhere sandy. Let's go somewhere magical. But first, let's get this fixed.
AAA, your membership to go.
A car accident can shatter your world. But at Jacoby & Myers, we want to help you get back to where you were before. Advocating for you, taking on insurance companies, hospital bills, medical care, whatever you need to get back to the life you love. Jacoby & Myers has championed the hardworking people of California for over 50 years and won more than $2 billion in settlements. Jacoby & Myers, because everyone deserves justice.
At Clovis Online, I can work and go to school at the same time.
Coming here gave me the chance to work on my own schedule.
They have amazing teachers.
I love the one-on-one support my teacher gives me.
Clovis Online gave me the opportunity to pursue my passions.
Coming here really helped me catch up on my schoolwork.
I trust Clovis Online School with my daughter because it's a part of Clovis Unified.
It gave my child the flexibility to work day or night.
It might be time for you to enroll your child at Clovis Online. Please give us a call today at 327-4400.
The pictures you take last forever. Unfortunately, some people will look at those pictures and feel uncomfortable with their smile. If you're self-conscious about the way you look and uncomfortable with your smile, you don't have to live with it. At Morales Revitalized Dental Implant Center, our proven technology gives you implant teeth and the beautiful smile you've always wanted in a day. Whether it's for a wedding, family portrait, big event, or even a selfie, we will have you smiling for the camera in no time. Change your smile, change your life at Morales Revitalized Dental Implant Center in Clovis.
Hey, let's go somewhere fun with AAA. Let's go for a night on the town. No kids. Let's go for a weekend away. Okay, let's bring the kids. But first, let's get this fixed.
AAA, your membership to go.
Now YourCentralValley.com pros who know.
Swelling, cramping, and redness in your legs can be signs of circulatory issues. See your doctor and keep moving to keep your blood flowing.
For more expert advice, go to YourCentralValley.com/pros who know. KC24, local news that matters. This is Ksee Midday.
Welcome back. I'm Ruben Contreras for Midday Forecast. We're cooling off once again. We'll avoid the triple digits for most of the valley. Current conditions this midday from our valley cam. This one at Herndon and Palm, northwest Fresno. Blue skies as we look off to the northeast. Just a little bit of haze out there. The cooler temperatures with this breeze helping mix some of that haze and smoke out of the valley. 85 this midday in Fresno. Winds are fairly light, but they pick up later on this afternoon, this evening. Having lunch outside in the shade, not too bad. Mid to upper 80s for most of the valley as we approach the noon hour. Seeing a little bit more cloud cover to the north, but we'll call it mostly sunny. That breeze picks up each afternoon through Thursday. Highs pretty much on average or close to it, which is 97. It will be a little bit cooler into the weekend. We'll talk more about that in a few minutes. For now, we'll send it back to you.
The U.S. is upping its readiness in the Middle East as its tensions continue to mount in the region over the war in Gaza.
NBC's Richard Engel has more.
Israel attacked this morning what it described as Hezbollah military structures in Lebanon in response to Hezbollah strikes on Israel yesterday. But this tit for tat isn't the big one. The expected major Iranian retaliation, likely in concert with Hezbollah, for Israel's dual assassinations 2 weeks ago of a Hezbollah commander in Beirut and a Hamas leader visiting Iran. The Israeli military announcing last night it's now at its highest state of alert and readiness. The U.S. also concerned.
We have to be prepared for what could be a significant set of attacks.
But will Iran call it off? In a joint statement, the United States, France, the UK, Germany, and Italy called on Iran to stand down its ongoing threats of a military attack against Israel, adding the countries discussed the serious consequences for regional security. The U.S. military has made some of those consequences abundantly clear. The Pentagon announcing it's speeding up the arrival of a second aircraft carrier to join a guided missile submarine and a squadron of F-22 fighters already pre-positioned. The Biden administration and Arab mediators want to push ahead with diplomacy and stop the war in Gaza with a ceasefire and hostage deal in talks that could resume this week, unless the Middle East goes up in flames. In Gaza, Israeli strikes continue. The Hamas-run health ministry says at least 142 people have been killed in the last 48 hours. A woman in Han Yunis telling our cameraman, "Enough. We are tired. We can't bear it anymore," she says. Israel launched its war in Gaza after Hamas murdered around 1,200 Israelis in October. Israel says Hamas fighters are hiding among civilians.
That was Richard Engel reporting. Well, Ukrainian forces now pushing deeper into Russia for the first time since the war started, with an incursion that surprised Moscow's military.
Andrea Mitchell has the details as Ukrainian troops advancing.
Ukrainian troops advancing 8 miles inside Russia's border, saying they've now gained control of more than 600 miles of Russian territory in Belgorod and Kursk. Russian President Putin vowing to retaliate. He says Russian forces will, quote, squeeze out and knock out the enemy from our territories, after the local governor in a televised meeting told Putin Ukraine now controls 28 Russian villages. This new video showing Ukrainian soldiers removing a Russian flag from the side of a building in the Kursk region. All this stunning and embarrassing Putin. For the first time, Ukraine's President Zelensky confirming Ukrainian troops are operating inside Russia, prompting this reaction from an exuberant Senator Lindsey Graham in Kyiv today.
Bold, brilliant, beautiful. Keep it up. Putin started this. Kick his ass.
And no objections from the Biden administration, saying Ukraine was defending itself against Russian cross-border attacks.
That was Andrea Mitchell reporting. Former President Donald Trump's live interview on X with the platform's owner Elon Musk was delayed by some technical issues. The audio-only discussion beginning about 40 minutes after it was scheduled to start. Musk's first question was about the assassination attempt on Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania. They then discussed the incident at length, the former president telling Musk that the attempt on his life made him, quote, more of a believer, end quote, in God, and that a chart displaying data about illegal immigration was critical to his survival. Trump also criticized his opponent, Kamala Harris, on several fronts, including immigration, and for echoing his same proposal on no tax for tips, a proposal he says he rolled out months ago.
The bigger miracle was that I was looking in the exact direction of the shooter, and so it hit me at an angle that was far less destructive than any other angle. So that was the miracle. That was for those people that don't believe in God. I think we got to all start thinking about that. You have to, you know, I'm a believer now. I'm more of a believer, I think.
Trump's virtual interview with Musk, who endorsed the former president last month, drew more than 1 million listeners. That is according to X, or Twitter's, public tally.
Well, now on to a tragic story out of Florida where a mother ran over her own daughter while dropping her off on the first day of school. Well, the Florida Highway Patrol says a mother accidentally ran over her 12-year-old daughter in the school car line. Well, the child got out of the car and in front of the school and dropped some of her school supplies under her SUV. The mother didn't see her go under, so the SUV got off the ground and pulled forward. The girl was then airlifted to All Children's Hospital in critical condition. The school's principal is reminding everyone to slow down and just be more aware of the school drop-off and pickup to avoid situations like that.
The CDC is advising Americans to throw out some prepackaged deli meats. They could be contaminated with listeria.
Tom Costello has more with dozens of people who have already been sent to the hospital, and 3 have died.
After 9 days in the hospital and 11 in rehab, 88-year-old Lucy Fleming is now suing Boar's Head for the listeria infection she claims came from eating liverwurst.
To be honest, I went through hell and back again, and I'm coming out of it. I don't wish it on anyone. I'm very blessed that I'm alive and talking to you right now.
The CDC reports 3 people have died from eating contaminated deli meats in Virginia, Illinois, and New Jersey. Boar's Head now recalling 71 prepackaged and ready-to-eat meat and poultry products tied to a Virginia plant with sell-by dates through October 17th, including liverwurst, ham, bologna, beef salami, and bacon.
It's literally the only brand I buy.
The CDC reports 43 hospitalizations across 13 states now tied to the outbreak, though the real number of people who become sick could be much higher. Listeria is the 3rd leading cause of death from foodborne illness, with pregnant women, newborns, senior citizens, and anyone with a weakened immune system at greatest risk.
Flu-like symptoms, fever, muscle aches, GI upset, those are the classic symptoms of listeria. And usually people know that something's wrong because they aren't really able to tolerate any fluids.
Boar's Head says food safety is our top priority, and we express our deepest sympathies for the affected families. The company and CDC recommend throwing out any affected deli meat, clean any surface that came in contact with the meat, including refrigerators and countertops.
That was Tom Costello there reporting. Starbucks today announced a change at the top. The coffee chain said Brian Nichol, who has led burrito chain Chipotle, will take over as CEO of the coffee chain in September. Current CEO Laxman Narasimhan, who has led the company since March of last year, will now leave. Sales at Starbucks have cooled in the U.S. and China, and the company's customers have repeatedly complained about rising prices and a decline in service.
Well, in announcing the change, Starbucks said that Brian Nichol has transformed Chipotle. Shares of Starbucks have been falling, and activist investors have been pressuring Starbucks leadership to make the changes.
And after that change, Starbucks stock is up about 15% today. So a lot of people liking this. My only question is are all my coffees going to get smaller?
Oh, I hope not.
You bring over the Chipotle CEO, they're going to start skimping on the coffee.
Or, I mean, bring like more breakfast burritos to Starbucks. Just
but they don't have breakfast burritos at Chipotle. That guy is clearly against breakfast burritos.
It'd be so good.
He's against breakfast burritos. He's for skimping you.
Well, we'll just put, or they can do the thing. Have you noticed they only like fill up your grande only halfway now?
Oh, now it's going to be a quarter now with this dude.
There's nothing.
Brian Nichol.
Coming up on Ksee Midday.
Might be hard to believe, but people are actually driving into the Pacific Ocean on accident.
Ksee 24 brings you Chargers football with an early look at star quarterback Justin Herbert, defensive and offensive strategy, and all the excitement leading up to Sunday Night Football. Chargers-Rams, August 17th, only on Ksee 24.
It's scary. It really is. The attack on a woman's right to choose is constant. I didn't think Roe versus Wade would be overturned, but it was. And John Duarte, he promised to protect us. But he voted to severely restrict access to abortion, even here in California. You can't lie about something like that. My daughters deserve to make their own decisions. Tell John Duarte to stop restricting abortion access.
No matter what cooling or heating system you have, Donald P. Dick has the expertise to keep it running smoothly and efficiently all summer long. If you'd like to know more about a new Lennox system, call Mr. Cool at 255-1644. No matter how reliable your system has been, there will come a time when you need a new Lennox heating and cooling system with quick, efficient, and professional service. Invest in Lennox from Donald P. Dick Heating, Air Conditioning, and Solar.
Homeowners, if you want to sell your house fast for all cash, stop what you're doing and watch this, because Osborne Homes wants to buy your house right now.
I'm Alec from Osborne Homes, and we want to buy your house. Nobody buys more homes in California than Osborne. Whether it's a total fixer-upper or in perfect condition, Osborne Homes is the easiest way to sell your house fast, all cash. Best of all, when you sell your house to Osborne Homes, there are 0 commissions, 0 fees, plus no banks, no realtors, no repairs, and no waiting to close. We buy your house as is, all cash. Just go to osbornehomes.com right now for your free, no obligation, all cash offer. We are here ready to buy your house 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So go to osbornehomes.com right now.
Don't wait. Sell your house to Osborne Homes and put the cash in your pocket right away. Any house, any condition. All cash right now. Just go to osbornehomes.com or call us today at 800-773-0341. Go to osbornehomes.com.
I got hurt in a car accident. Why should I call the Law Brothers? Because when you're hurt, you need money. We got a client who suffered a serious head injury. $10 million. Don't take a tiny check for your car wreck. Call the Law Brothers. We're the Law Brothers.
We're giving away another Granville Home of Hope, and the key could be yours. You have to buy a ticket, and to win this 2-year lease from Fresno Lexus, buy a 2-ticket bundle. Win a new home and help our local nonprofits. The live drawing is December 4th on Ksee 24.
Ksee 24 News is brought to you in part by HR Mobile Services. Now, forecaster Ruben Contreras with your local weather authority forecast.
And things not too bad for our temperatures. We're at 85 degrees in Fresno. We have 60s along the coast. It was a little foggy and cloudy this morning. Still is in some locations. And that cool air goes into the Sacramento Valley first through the passes and deltas. So Sacramento at 73 degrees, Fresno at 85, and then 88 in Bakersfield. It eventually makes its way to the San Joaquin Valley, and that's going to be the case for a good portion of the week. So we are in the low to mid 80s across the valley, 83 in Merced, 84 in Visalia, and 86 in Hanford. Compared to 24 hours ago, everyone is cooler, 3 to 4 degrees cooler Fresno County southward, and just a degree cooler in Madera and Merced. Also the foothills in the Sierra, much cooler this midday. Winds are getting close to 10 miles an hour in some areas. Little gusty in western Merced County through Pacheco Pass. That's the cool air rushing into the valley to help us out for temperatures. So we've had a bit of a breeze late in the day on and off, and then into the evening hours. We'll get that going again for tonight. Matter of fact, tonight might be a little bit cooler than last night. I think we'll have a few more spots dipping into the upper 50s, one of our coolest mornings in quite some time for tomorrow morning. Quick look outside to show you a live picture from our Valley Cam. This one at Kauai Health in Visalia. We're looking off to the east. Still a little bit of haze, still a little bit of wildfire smoke out there, but this is a big improvement from the past couple weeks with that breeze each afternoon and evening. It mixes some of that haze and smoke out of the valley, and a nice view of Lake Kauai thanks to Sequoia Parks Conservancy. This is their webcam in the Tulare County foothills. Bit of a breeze here. You see some of the trees along the 198 bouncing around, and then we do see some clouds out there off in the distance this midday. Really no threat of showers or thunderstorms thanks to cooler, drier air moving into California thanks to the low off in the Pacific Northwest. It is strong enough to keep the ridge of high pressure that's kept us extremely hot for several weeks away from California. So we're getting a much needed break from the triple-digit heat. Futurecast shows a few clouds here and there as we move forward into the afternoon. Overall, it'll be mostly sunny for the valley, foothills, and the Sierra. Might see a little bit more cloud cover at the highest terrain, but no threat of showers or thunderstorms. And that's pretty much the trend for the entire week. And along the coast, that moraine layer, the fog and low cloud cover, it might linger into the late morning or even early afternoon. That's a good sign. That's cool air because we need this break up until about Sunday. 47 days of triple-digit heat in the city of Fresno. 31 of those days, the high temperature was 105 or higher, and then 9 of those days, 110 or higher. And of course, we got a much-needed break from our latest streak. That was 8 days of triple-digit heat. And of course, we talked about Fresno having its hottest month on record. Well, Merced, you also had your hottest month on record for July, and then also the hottest July ever on record, I should say, too, for 2024. It beats the previous record of July 1931. The average mean high temperature in Merced was 85 degrees. That's when you calculate all the numbers from the lows to the highs the entire month. Madera, also your hottest month on record for July 2024, also the hottest July on record, up a few, maybe about 0.7 degrees from July 1960. So it was an impressive summer. Let's hope the worst is behind us. Remember, triple digits are still possible all the way through mid-October, but this long stretch, I think it's finally over. But we'll get a break for at least the next several days. But still got a few spots here and on Huron. 5 points still at 100 today, 98 in Mendota, 97 in Chowchilla, low 90s in the foothills, but 89 in Mariposa and 86 for Yosemite. Average is 97, so we're at average or even a little below that in in some parts of the valley. Overnight lows for the most part, low 60s, Fresno at 66. That's better than the 70s and 80s we had for overnight lows for several weeks, especially in the month of July. 7-day forecast shows we're going to be consistent with our temperatures, pretty much around 97 degrees the next several days, with a breeze in the afternoon and evening. Those winds will be about northwest 15 to 20 miles an hour. And then on Sunday, 93 in Fresno. That means most of the valley around 90 degrees, maybe even some upper 80s in Merced County. You can always check out your regional forecast any time of the day. Just go to yourcentralvalley.com to check it out. For now, we'll send it back to you.
A couple of kayakers had an unnerving close encounter with a shark while fishing in Half Moon Bay. They say the experience was more surreal than scary.
That's right. Rob Nesbitt explains.
There he is, less than a mile offshore from Half Moon Bay, and this is what Ian Walters came across during a fishing trip Tuesday. You can see the dorsal fin and tail of a great white shark pop up behind his friend's kayak. A bit of nerves at first, while they observed the shark and the shark observed his new friends.
Followed him for a couple minutes, and then I moved my kayak in to kind of seem bigger as two kayaks, and then we watched it circle around and then follow my kayak for a few minutes after that. And we kind of led it towards some seals, and it eventually just kind of calmly went out of sight.
I reached out to the California White Shark Project, and its president, Dr. Paul Canivey, confirmed that the shark appears to be an adult great white and about 14 feet long.
And the shape of the fin, it's got that classic triangular shape. I mean, for me, I would put my money on a white shark.
He says the kayakers did the right thing by fishing together, staying calm, and slowly leaving the area towards shore. Dr. Canivey says great whites are extremely curious, and this one seems to be doing some investigating. When on the hunt, great whites are more known for ambushing their prey.
If it gets too close, you can hit it on the nose. Sharks don't like to be hit. You don't have to hit them hard. They're risk averse, like I said, and a simple poke on the nose will kind of make the shark think twice about continuing the investigation.
As for the kayakers, they consider themselves lucky to have shared such a rare experience and to make it home with video evidence.
I can't believe that we're the ones that get this lucky right now, because that's, the apex of the apex predators that we have in the Bay Area. And, never in a million years did I think that I would get to, spend 5 minutes on Earth, next to one of them.
That's scary.
Well, it seems like some people may want to drive next to them. Yeah. Staying on the Pacific, firefighters and police officials in Oregon say more people are accidentally taking a left, or I guess right turn if you're going south, and driving into the ocean.
Well, the Oregon coast has many spots for people to drive their cars close to the water, even the sand. Crews say what most people don't account for is the rising tide.
What? The tide rose?
Well, earlier this week, 4 people had to be saved from a car that was quickly taking on the water from the crashing waves. Thankfully, everyone was okay. You're laughing at them. They were okay. The car had to be...
Even if they weren't okay, I would laugh at them.
At the water-fight advocacy group called the Sons of Beaches.
That's right.
Who helps first responders get cars out of the water.
Those Sons of Beaches.
When your first responders are in need of assistance and they don't have somebody to call, you can call us. There's a serious consequence when you don't pay attention at the beach, and that's you're going to lose your life.
Yeah, you are.
I trust this guy with my life. Well, Sons of Beaches was founded in 2015 to help everybody out. I mean, it's easy to underestimate it, but it's a little common sense.
Whoa, I had no idea. This big old lake moves.
But sometimes when you're in the car, maybe you don't realize it, and the driver's being like, oh, maybe it's not as close. I'm trying to give these people grace.
But they're parking. They're parking and watching the tides get closer and closer to them.
Well, hopefully they have car insurance.
Coming up on Ksee 24 midday.
They're not yet pink, but they're adorable.
Aww.
The new flamboyant additions to a zoo in Chicago. Up next.
Thursdays at 6 on Ksee 24. Join me as I take you on a tour of the people and places that made history right here in our backyard. This week, Bob Long helps us tell the story of a sweet little nest on the map.
Brought to you by the Fresno County Historical Society.
The Fresno County Historical Society doesn't just preserve the past, we bring it back to life through photos and stories that connect us all. Your membership allows us to capture and share history every day. Join now at valleyhistory.org/membership.
Looking for the best value in contact lenses?
At Stanton Optical, score an annual supply of AccuView Oasis plus a free contact lens eye exam for only $189. The numbers are in. At Stanton Optical, you save a whopping $280. You're not going to find a better deal with the other guys. Now that's what I call value. Book your eye exam today. Stanton Optical. Easy's our thing.
Truck accidents are serious, and what you're about to see is a true story. In a rush to make a delivery, this 18-wheeler driver raced through a small town in the early morning, ran a red light, and collided with a family of 4, changing their life forever. I'm attorney Tom Dunyan. We were able to help this family and get them over $14 million.
If you've been injured, call Dunyan Law. That's 877-DUNYAN.
Train to be an electrician at SJVC, where we've been getting students career ready for over 40 years. Gain the confidence you need to succeed. It's more than book learning. You'll train hands-on using the tools you'll find in the field from instructors who've actually done the job. A certificate or degree from SJVC prepares you to step out and start your career and do it all faster and more affordably than you think. Go to sjvc.edu and discover how you can become electrician ready with SJVC.
Medicare benefits, Medicare supplemental plans or Advantage plans, Medicare prescription drug plans. How are you supposed to understand it all? At Valley Caregiver Resource Center, we know Medicare can be confusing. That's why we offer HICAP, the Health Insurance Counseling and Advocacy Program. Our HICAP counselors will help you understand your options, and assistance is free, objective, and confidential. Call HICAP now to schedule your appointment with our trained experts. We're here to help.
A car accident can completely disrupt your life. It may feel like the sky is falling. And that's when you call us. We're the Law Brothers.
Call 1-800-222-2222.
Ksee 24 News is brought to you by Flooring Liquidators. This is Ksee 24 News Midday.
They may not yet be pink, but they are cute. The Chicago Zoo welcomed 4 new flamingo hatchlings over the last couple of weeks. 2 of the birds hatched in late July. The other 2 hatched on August 7th and 8th. Good luck with winter.
Well, the group has already found their love for water and enjoy playing together. Zookeepers say the birds will stay white until they grow their pink feathers, usually around 3 years old. I thought it was because the shrimp makes
right,
them
as
pink.
they get older and they eat their diet.
Oh, I was going to say, you're not going to find much shrimp, you know, by Navy Pier up there, but, you know.
The water's going to be frozen.
Yeah.
So you know the area.
Very well, yeah.
Okay.
If it's the Brookfield Zoo that we're talking about, it's so fun. And fun fact, my parents' first date was at that zoo, if we're talking about the Brookfield Zoo.
Wow.
I know.
We don't know if it is.
They actually told me they ran out of the Bat Cave together, and I was like, oh, is that how you guys knew?
Wait, what?
There's a Bat Cave.
The Bat Cave.
Yeah, the Bat Cave.
Alfred was there and everything.
And they ran out, and I was like, is that when you guys knew? They're like, no, we were just really scared, because they were roaming free back in the day.
Trying to solve crimes, or?
Yeah, I think so. No bats in the hot forecast. I'm not kidding. It's a true story.
Okay, Ruben, you don't have to hide in a bat cave with this.
Really nice. Get out. Do not hide the next several days. No triple digits at least until Monday of next week.
Go to the Fresno Chaffee Zoo. They have a baby flamingo as well.
We've got a friend there. Keep telling you guys there.
It's a good date. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.
At Ksee 24, education matters. We're dedicated to bringing you inspirational stories of Valley students working towards success. Watch Education Matters stories now at yourcentralvalley.com/education.
Let's see if AAA can take a